Hey there, I'm Jeff with CreditCards.com. Today we're talking about how to evaluate airline credit cards. So these cards will earn points or miles, and those points or miles are almost like their own currency. So you have to not only evaluate how many points or miles you get with the card, but what that translates into in terms of dollars. So we'll cover that and how to decide whether or not a credit card is worth it to you. And I think really the big question is, do you want an airline-specific credit card or a general travel credit card? I would say for the most part, for most people out there, you probably want to look into a general travel credit card first because they tend to be a little bit more flexible. But if you only fly with one particular airline and you're really loyal to them, then you would look into a airline co-branded credit card. So if that's the type of card that you want, one of these brand specific credit cards, you have to look at the annual fee. You have to look at some of the perks. You have to look at the rewards and how usable those rewards are. You want to make sure that if you rack up all these points or miles, that scheduling flights or redeeming them is pretty easy and that you can get a fair value for them. So let's go through an example with a fictitious airline to see how you can evaluate an airline credit card. And you can do this with all types of rewards credit cards, not just airline credit cards, not just hotel cards, any type of card that earns points or miles. You can do the same analysis to decide whether or not it's worth it to you. So let's say we're looking at a credit card for Goliath National Airline, again, a fake airline. We're going to pretend that we've looked at estimates for points values from the pointsguy.com and other sources, and we feel like the rewards, the points, are worth 1.5 cents each. So the card that we're looking at earns 2 points per dollar spent on Goliath flights. It earns 2 points per dollar spent on dining and grocery store purchases, and then 1 point per dollar on all other purchases. Now you plan to spend $3,500 per year on Goliath flights, $7,500 per year on dining and grocery store purchases, and $10,000 a year on the card on all other purchases. Now, one thing we need to account for is that the card has a $95 annual fee, but it comes with a TSA pre-check or global entry credit for up to $100, and that can be used once every 4 years. Not only that, but the card comes with a 30,000 point sign-up bonus after you spend $3,000 on the card in the first 3 months. So let's put all that together and see how much value you're getting from this card. So you can see here with our table that the sign-up bonus is first. Let's say the spending here is already wrapped into our other spending. So you end up with 30,000 points that has an estimated value of about $450. And then you go down the line items. So you've got spending at Goliath National Airline. You spent $3,500. That turns into 7,000 points. That is a value of $105. And then dining and grocery store purchases, if you go all the way over, that has a value at the end of the year of about $225 for your spending. For other spending, translates into about $150 in estimated rewards. Then we got to subtract off the annual fee of $95, but we have to also add in the once for every 4 years credit for TSA pre-check or global entry. That's $25. So our first year total rewards value for the card ends up being $860. And if you want to look at it on an ongoing basis, it's $410 because after you hit that sign-up bonus initially, that won't be a factor. So you'll end up getting, you estimate, about $410 on an ongoing basis with the card. So that means that for the first year and every year thereafter, you think you're going to come out ahead with the card. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best card that you can get, counting in your opportunity cost, but it does mean that you're getting positive value from the card. And if you have two different cards you're looking at, you would run this same analysis. You would look at the sign-up bonus, the annual fee, the rewards, some of the incentives, and you would look at the estimated point or mile value and try and figure out which one offers you more value. And when you're looking at airline credit cards, you also want to make sure you factor in which airline you will end up flying most with. It's great if one card gives you, a higher value, but if you don't really end up flying with that airline, how much will you end up redeeming your rewards? So you want to make sure that you're thinking about that as well. On top of that, you want to make note of the annual fee. And I think a lot of times people see credit cards with a big old whopping annual fee and they go, oh my gosh, I'm scared off. And that's fine, right? But usually there are cards with a $0 annual fee. You've got the mid-range cards, and then you've got the higher end cards. Just because a card has a higher annual fee doesn't mean that it won't have the highest value to you. In fact, if you get a card with a whopping $450 annual fee, Net, after you factor in everything, it might offer you the most value. So you have to run through that analysis and see which one is best for your situation. If you're not traveling a lot, maybe it makes sense to get the card with a $0 annual fee. It doesn't have as many perks and you won't earn as many rewards, but you have a $0 annual fee to think about. If you travel a ton, maybe you get the card that offers all the luxury perks, maybe lounge access, or some of the other things that come with these high-end credit cards. Maybe that one offers you the most value. So you have to run through the analysis and see what you get at the end of it. And that's about it. That's how you evaluate airline credit cards. You can see more on our website. We have a full list of the best airline credit cards. It's up to date. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll link that in the description. If you're watching on our site, it's pretty easy to find. You will also want to look into estimated points or mile valuations. We should have those in a lot of our reviews. Or you can go to thepointsguy.com. They have monthly valuations for points or miles. That's it. Have a great day.